The acquisition section in Google Analytics is one of the important sections that tells you if your marketing campaigns and your strategies are working well. And if they are or they aren't, you need to get to this section in order to learn more and know if your business is going in the right direction. All of this and more right after this break. Welcome back. Today's section in Google Analytics is dedicated to the acquisition. Let's get started. You get to this section by clicking on the left navigation and going directly into acquisition. Acquisition in general is a place that tells you how the customer got into your website. So any sort of referral or any sort of paid advertisement, organic search, anything you name it, is structured and reported in this section in Google Analytics. Let's get to the overview, and this gives me a summary of a bunch of different metrics and dimensions. And the first thing that comes to mind is these major channels. That's what we call channels. And the easiest way to get to it is by either looking here at the summary. And as you can see, most of the traffic coming into the website is from organic search, followed by direct. Direct is another channel that holds direct traffic, basically people who have who just remember your website and type it in directly to Chrome or any other browser, or people who have bookmarked your website and they can get to it directly. That's when Google Analytics and any other analytics can't really tell how they found you, so they just consider the channel to be direct. Social is your social networking sites, including Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and others, of course. Referral is any website that is referring traffic to you. So basically, if you have some sort of a link found on some friend's website, or somebody found your article and linked it from their website, any traffic that is coming to your website through theirs is considered referral when it comes to channels. Affiliates, basically if you have some affiliate links with major companies, that would be bucketed under affiliates. Paid search, again, as the name is pretty straightforward, you can tell paid search is anything that you pay for in terms of searched advertisements. Most likely it's Facebook or Google or even Bing. And obviously display is for banner ads. So if you put display advertisement instead of text advertisement, that's where it gets bucketed. And then other holds all the other various components that could be more like miscellaneous in that case. So let's get to the second section here. Now all of these sections here are pretty much a summary. And when we dig inside the different elements within acquisition, we will learn more. So if I go into all traffic and I click on channels, as you can see, I'm able to see the major channels that drive traffic to my website. This is a very good indicator because I have three sections here. The first one is metrics that are related to acquisition. So metrics that make a lot of difference when knowing how the users came to my website. Metrics like sessions, metrics like new sessions, and new users. These are three metrics that are very important when the concept of acquisition in marketing is thought of. Next is behavior. Once the user gets into your website, what kind of engagement they get into. And that would include bounce rate, pages per session, how many pages the user is seeing per visit, and obviously the average session duration. How long do they stay on your website during that particular session? And the last part is the conversion. And conversion, as we've talked before, and we will get deeper into conversion later, it's what really matters by the end of the day. The goals that you set for your business, and then you translate them into Google Analytic goals, and this is what will be reported under conversion. So you can have an e-commerce, for example, conversion rate. If you have some online store within your website, you can have the transactions, the number of transactions. Again, this is a very important metric, and the revenue, the money that you're getting at the end of the day, how much revenue you've got. So now that we have this first looked at, which is the channels, and really channels, you'd understand it more as we get into the different elements of campaigns in Google Analytics. So the next thing you need to look at is tree maps. And tree maps is another way of looking at your data when it comes to acquisition. Basically, it's another form of visual reporting that includes boxes showing the sizes of this particular element. So for example, organic search is one of the bulky parts that is driving traffic to our website. So you see it more, as you can see here, it's occupying more space, followed by direct and followed by social. These two are pretty similar, and so on and so forth. This is again the visual element of it. If you want to scroll down, you would see the tabular form. As you can tell here, we have our default channel grouping. This is what Google Analytics reports by default. These are the major divisions when it comes to channels. So this is not much different than the summary in my opinion. Moving on, source and medium. And this is pretty important because now you're getting one level deeper. So think of this, channels being your topmost grouping, followed by the medium. And the medium is nothing but the mechanism that the user was driven into your website. So mediums could be, as you can tell here, if we scroll down, you would see some examples. I can scroll here and click on medium if I want to only see the mediums. And I have organic, referral, none. None is basically direct traffic, affiliate, CPC for, again, click cost per click. And also we have the non-set, which includes values that are not really determined or probably hidden by Google Analytics. So this is what medium is. And generally, in your business, you might have different mediums. For example, another medium that is not visible here could be email. If you have newsletters that are coming out in the form of emails to your customers, then your medium would be email. If you have something else, such as advertisements, let's say on Facebook, you can also have a medium of either paid social, and that's again up to you, or you can bucket it under purely social. So the medium could be social. And that's again an implementation design. It's up to you and your business. You can determine, as long as you're consistent and as long as you know what you're defining and communicate that clearly with individuals that work in your company, then you're good. Next is source. With every medium, there's a source associated with it, and source is the lowest level. Well, not the very low, but it kind of in the middle. And source gives you a little bit more indication of where the source is coming from. For example, if your medium is social, your source could be facebook.com, it could be twitter.com, linkedin.com, or any other social media platform. So this is where you get more granular, and that's where you get more details into the exact source that the user is coming from. So here at the very top, next to primary dimension, I could select my primary to be medium, or if I would like it to be source only, as you can see here, some of the source values are Google or youtube.com or Yahoo or Bing. And if I go to source medium, it basically joins them together and puts a slash in between, and that's perfectly fine. Sometimes you want to see both at the same time. And this is pretty interesting here because at any point in time, if you want to see more, obviously these are the top 10. If you want to see more, you can click here and go to show the top 50 instead of just the top 10. As you can see, there are 50, and there are actually more than that. So you can go through the pagination and click next if you want to go and view more. And this is a lot of data, but really what matters by the end of the day is to look at your topmost 10, because topmost 10 source/medium is most likely what's driving most of the traffic. And most likely you don't really care about the very single-digit number reporting there. You probably need to look at things in the hundreds and thousands, again, depending on the size of your website and the traffic that gets through your website. So this is for these two elements. You need to know about them. Keyword is somehow related as well to your business. And this is something that generally Google does not give a lot of detail. So as you can see, the majority is bundled under not set. And unless the keyword is strictly related to your business, some kind of a branded keyword, you will most likely not see it under this table. So in my opinion, this is kind of not very useful unless you really care about the targeted keywords as per your brand. And as you can see here, we're using the demo shop from Google, and as you can see, most of the keywords here are related to the Google store. Perfect. Moving on to referrals. As I mentioned, if you have some kind of partnership or not, if you simply have somebody who has used a link and put it on their website and you start getting traffic through their website to yours, then this is where you will see most of the traffic. And again, this is some examples of the source. And I will get into a special episode, I promise, a very important one about referral. A special episode that would include cleaning up your referrals, because sometimes you get a lot of noise, pollution, and spam into your referral section, and that's where you need to ensure that most of the traffic, at least 90% of it, is clean. And if not, you need to apply certain filters, and I'll teach you how to do it. So make sure you subscribe to this channel and make sure you click on the bell icon in order to get notifications and alerts every time I publish a new episode in Google Analytics, and I will every few days. So be alert, be attentive of this, and I will go in the next few episodes into more details, and we'll go more advanced as we lay the foreground for most of us to be on the same level. Now, moving on, AdWords is a very huge section in the acquisition. And again, if you're paying for advertising, if you're part of the Google AdWords network, you probably need to link your account here, and that's where all the data would start feeding into the Google Analytics. We'll not get into this section, it's pretty advanced, and I would leave it to another episode. Now, I'm gonna unclick this one. Search Console, again, this is an advanced section, and this is related to Google Webmaster Tools, something that has been renamed and changed. The name has been changed to Search Console. So if you are part of the Webmaster developer network, you can link your account and link your Search Console into Google Analytics, and you'll start seeing more search keywords feeding into your analytics, and that's where you'll gain more insight. And again, if you do so, then you'll start seeing things like landing pages, the pages that are getting traffic through search engines. Again, if you want to dig deeper into the countries, you could do so. But again, remember, this is all under the Search Console. So this is very specific to the Search Console section. I'm unhiding this and going into social. Social is the big section here. And this is important because this is where you can validate and verify if social really matters to you. I've seen a lot of companies put a lot of money, a lot of effort, hire a lot of people into the social media and do a lot of social engagement. But by the end of the day, if you know how to read your reports well, and I will teach you how to do so, you will be able to make the right decision to your business, whether social really matters or not. If it's not driving traffic or not driving engagement, or not even driving conversion, and not driving any value to your website? Do you really need to invest? Most likely not. So think about it, because most of the time this is the place you need to go to see if the users are really engaged. And again, if you want to see that, you can go to the overview under social here. And this is where you can see the social network, how many sessions it's bringing in, and the percentage of the sessions. And as you can see, YouTube is one of the highest here for this particular demo example, followed by Facebook, driving only 3.66%. So, if you're putting a lot of money into Facebook, here's where you can really ask yourself the right question. Am I really good in investing so much effort and money into Facebook? Maybe I need to move my attention into Instagram just because my business is focused more on images and maybe some kind of digital design. In that case, Facebook might not be the right social network for you, and this is where you can really make that decision. Again, there are more interesting things when it comes to social. If you have some kind of landing pages as well, it'll tell you which landing pages are getting more traffic from social. Again, with the number of sessions, page views, and pages per session, so you can make your decisions. There are certain plugins that you generally use on social networks, such as the like button of Facebook or the share button of some other social network. And this is where you can connect these social plugins and get more reporting into these sections right here. We haven't activated or enabled any of them, so we don't see any values. User flows is a very important section, and it exists in many of the Google reports. And it's more of a visual, hierarchical structure to show you how users are flowing through your website. So here, if I look, these are all my social networks, the majority of my traffic coming in from YouTube. Hovering over this section, I can see most of them are going into my main home page. And then I can see that 81% are dropping off immediately, and only 19% is passing on to the next stage. And the next stage could be any one of these different subpages. So this is really nice visual, and I can really understand easily how the users are flowing. And in this example, I can literally see that Facebook is driving little to almost no traffic. And so and that's the same thing with Twitter and Reddit. And that's, again, it depends on your business, how much engagement, how much effort you're putting into it, how much you're getting in return, and this is where you can get the insights. Moving on, campaigns. I want to spend a little bit of time because campaigns is really, really important. When you advertise for something, whether it's on Adwords or any other paid advertisement, you need to set up campaign elements. And the first thing you need to set up is a campaign name. So for example, if you're advertising for this book, it's a red book, and it says learn with Google. Now this book needs to go under a certain campaign. The campaign name, it could be like books, because I need to sell books. So whenever I advertise, I make sure that my campaign is called books, or it could be something more specific like learn with Google book. And the next thing is I need to specify the source. So if I put my advertisement on Facebook, then the source would be Facebook or facebook.com, and the medium would be social. Or again, if I'm paying for that advertisement, if it's not just a link that I'm throwing out on social media, it could be a paid advertisement. In that case, I can call it display. And again, there are certain things that happen organically through Google AdWords. You don't need to set the source and medium. In certain cases, Google AdWords does that for you, but if you want to overwrite it, there are ways of overwriting it. And also, if you want to advertise on some other platform that does not have the source and medium natively as part of their platform, then you probably need to integrate that into the URL of your banner or of your advertisement. And this is, again, very important. These are called UTM codes. And if you ever hear of the UTM codes, then this is what it is. This is setting your source, your medium, and your campaign. And also, there are two more elements that you can set. One is called the ad content, and that can give you more variation of your campaign. For example, let's say I'm advertising this book, and one of the advertisements have a promotion on the book. Then I can have one ad content that says promo 50 if I'm giving $50 off, and the other one could have the ad content equals no promo, because I want to test two different variations of this advertisement and later be able to see it in Google Analytics and see which one is driving more traffic, which one is converting more. And again, this gives me more granularity on my particular campaign. So, and there's one more element, it's called term, and that's again these are all part of UTM codes. And I will have a special episode about this, so don't worry, but I'm trying to give you some definitions so that when we start this episode, you are fully on board and you know what we're talking about. The last and the fifth part of the campaign is called UTM Term. And UTM terms, or term, are actually part of Adwords. And you can set manually these keywords if you want, in case you want to make a distinction when you're doing a paid advertising through Google AdWords and paying for certain keywords. So let's get going really quickly in campaign. I don't want this episode to go too far. Again, all campaigns. Remember, we talked about UTM campaign name. So the campaign name here where it appears. For example, there's a campaign called Data Share Promo, another campaign called Referral, and you can name the campaign the way you want. My advice to you is name it consistently. If you want to use lowercase, make sure it's always lowercase. If you want to use hyphens or underscores, you can do so, but don't mix them together. And there's also a tool by Google that you can use that helps you create that whole URL. But that'll be part of our advanced episode. So we'll get to it later. Again, paid keywords. If you pay for keywords, this is where you can get a list of the keywords that you've paid for with the details of the sessions and the new users, bounce rate, etc. You have a section for organic keywords, which is pretty nice of Google to do. But again, remember, the majority of the sessions, Google will not provide you with information. It will only provide you with things related to your own brand. So if your brand is Zap, then you'll probably see all the different combinations of Zap. For example, Zap Remote, or Zap Electronics, or Zap Buttons. And that's how you will know the particular keywords, but these are really your own keywords. You will not find things like wireless remote. That is something that Google would like to keep for their own insights, and they don't want to share it publicly. And the other part would be cost analysis. Again, this is detailed. I'll have a special episode about this, but this is again in relation to paid advertising, especially Google AdWords, and this is where you see all the CPC, the CTR, all the different obviously abbreviations that are tagged into all the digital advertising industry. So I think that covered it. I hope you really enjoyed today's episode. I'm always willing to go one step further than any other advertising and marketing tutorial. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and if you watched it till the end, I really appreciate it, and I really would like if you can give me the thumbs up, and don't forget to sign up for a free account with webok.com, the place where I will share more tools and insights into digital marketing. Until a new episode with me, Danny, take care.